Welcome to our Week 11 video review for the 2022 high school football season. This was our last week of the regular season. Feel free to share any of these videos or like them or comment in the comments section after watching this video or any other video. Appreciate the feedback as it will help us in future videos. Thank you very much, and let's get into our first play of the week. Our first play here, we're going to take a look at forward progress, and we have a ball snap from the 16. The receiver catches the ball right around the 20s, driven back out of bounds around the 17. So let's take a quicker look at this. You can see the receiver has the ball right here about the 20-yard line, and then the defender comes up and drives him backwards and throws him out of bounds. We'll also see the line judge here stop the clock. But let's keep in mind here that the forward progress was established inbounds at the 20-yard line if we rule that. And so this would be a situation where we would technically wind the clock because the forward progress was stopped inbounds at the 20. Our next play is a really good play to think about here as we enter the playoffs. So the team fakes the extra point on this particular situation. The holder pitches the ball back from the knee to the kicker. And this by rule is down right here. As you can see, his knee down indicated by the arrow. The referee does a good job of stopping this play and killing this play and indicating that the play is over on this situation. Remember in high school rules that the holder in this situation must rise off the ground, cannot have a knee on the ground. If he pitches the ball with his knee on the ground, as done here, it is a dead ball as indicated by the referee. So this is a good job by the referee. Keep this play in mind as we move into the playoffs because teams will come up with plays like this in situations, especially in the playoffs. They'll be looking for a way to get that extra advantage. So keep this play in mind and remember that holder must rise off the ground for this to be a legal play. One final note here, the recommendation is that the referee stands tall, stands upright on these plays. Our next play here we're going to look at is the running back coming out of the backfield, and number 22 on the defense here grabs him and brings him down on this particular play. This play, we're first going to take a look at our keys because it's important to know our keys so that we can identify. So as you can see here, the long arrow from the back is the back judge has the widest key because the strength in his formation is on the head linesman side. Then the head linesman would have the next two inside receivers. And then our line judge would have the receiver closest to him, and then he would have the running back on this particular play. So to know our keys helps us out. Now as you notice, as the play develops, the line judge has to look two different directions. So first he can look to his left and then he can scan back to his right. But that is difficult. It's not an easy task to do, and because we want to see the whole play, especially in these particular situations, especially when we see this play right here. Plays like these that make it really tough in a five-person crew. We have to scan back and forth. And as you can see on this play, the line judge has these two keys to focus on, and they're both in opposite directions. So it requires us to scan back and forth. But you can clearly see here, as the back comes out of the backfield, initially it's okay. The contact's legal. The back's maybe potentially blocking. We don't know that. But as the play develops, we see the back try to get by, and then the defender wraps him up. And as he back gets by him, the defender wraps him up and brings him down to the ground as the ball's thrown in that direction. Now we would not have defensive pass interference here because remember, we're not beyond the line of scrimmage. We would have holding on the defense in this particular play. Our next play here, we have a running play with a potential fumble in this particular play, as you'll see, as the running back gets up to the line of scrimmage, gets taken down, and then the ball comes out. And so the referee and the line judge on this particular play do a great job of coming in and pointing that the runner was down. Coming in like this and selling this call, as you can see here, the runner's clearly down. Forward progress probably even stopped, and then the defender rolls him over. But coming in like this on this particular play as an official and selling this call like this, letting everybody know that it's down, helps to sell this call, helps to let the coaches and everybody know that we saw the play and what our ruling is. Good job here. This play we're going to talk about mechanics, and we're going to focus on the umpire in this running play. So notice we have a running play. Let's keep in mind that the majority of the time, especially on running plays, our head linesman or line judge are going to get the forward progress and are also going to blow the whistle. But here we can see the umpire coming in and blowing his whistle. We want to be real careful with this. Now sometimes we may need to blow our whistle for particular reasons, but remember, once we blow that whistle, we may or could potentially have an invert whistle if we're not ruling on forward progress. And this goes for all officials. We don't necessarily need 3, 4, 5 whistles on every play. we may only need one whistle, and a lot of times we only need one whistle. So this goes for referees, umpires, back judges too. Keep in mind our head linesman and line judge will predominantly rule on running plays on most of the forward progresses in most situations. So let's just keep that in mind so that we can have great whistle control and not have any mistakes on use of the whistle. Next play here, we have a running play, and we're going to see the running back come out near the line judge side of the field, where the defensive player comes up to tackle, and then at the end of the play, we're going to see the line judge throw a flag on this play. So I'm not sure whether the flag here was for a horse collar or a face mask. And as I look at this play, I can't be sure that there was a face mask 100%. It looks like the defender gets his left hand on the shoulder, underneath the armpit area, or the front shoulder of the running back. And then he gets his right hand up on the back of the collar of the running back. And that's what it looks like. Now, again, we're slowing this down and playing this slow speed and back and forth and looking at it several times. On the field, it can look much different. But in this particular situation, if this was called a horse collar, we need to expand on that and talk about the rule on this particular play. So as we talk about the requirements for a horse collar, first of all, we have to have a grab of the inside back or side collar. Now, in this particular play, the right hand does grab the back of the collar or the nameplate area, which is directly below the collar, of either the shoulder pads or the jersey of the runner, and subsequently pull backward or sideward, that opponents to the ground to be a horse collar. So let's keep this in mind. So we have to have a grab of either the side or back or nameplate area of either the shoulder pads or the jersey, and then that pull down has to be to the side or to the back. And in this particular play, if this was called a horse collar again, I think this runner is going forward and not pulled down backwards, and this would not be a horse collar. On our next play from the penalty mark off on the play after this, it looks like the crew gets this right with the intentional grounding call. And the quarterback rolls out here and gets outside that free blocking zone, the end of the tackle there, as we'll show here. But he does not get the ball back to the line of scrimmage. As you can see here where that end of the blocking zone is, and then the line of scrimmage. But also in this play, there's no eligible receiver in the area, and I think his total intent is to get rid of this ball without making any attempt to throw the ball to an eligible receiver. Our closest eligible receiver might be down near the number 6 there. But he just ditches the ball, flings it forward, as you can see in slow motion here. This is a good call. They rule it incomplete pass, and then they flag it for an intentional grounding. And by the looks of this video, this is a correct call on this particular play. And this is a good job by the crew. So our next play here is a point after attempt after a touchdown. Again, we had this formation last week from the same team, and this formation is still illegal. But today we're going to talk about a little bit something different, even though this formation is still illegal because of the numbering exception, because they're not in a kicking formation. Notice where our line judge here is on this play. Our line judge, this is why we stay on the sideline until they line up in a kicking formation, because with your line judge, he's trying to come over and make this call, and we do have a play where the goal line is involved and the sideline is somewhat involved, but it would be a whole lot easier and look a lot better if our line judge was positioned already on the sideline and not move under the goalpost until they line up in a kicking formation. Here's that same formation one more time. We're going to talk about this formation just to show how a team can make this formation legal. Remember, it's not illegal until they snap the ball in what formation they were in. So the center here is number 2. So they do not have 5 players 50-79 in the line of scrimmage when they were in the, whatever you can call it, the hockey huddle or the bucket, water bucket. But once they shift and they put the holder 7 yards deep, and then you have the kicker who's about 2 to 3 yards behind the holder in position to kick the ball, then this becomes a legal formation underneath numbering exceptions, so they do not have to have 5 on the line 50-79 if they shift. But remember, they must shift into this formation if they're going to run a play. If they stay in the water bucket or the hockey huddle or whatever you want to call it, and they don't have 50 through 79, then that would be an illegal formation once they snap the ball. On our next play, we have a forward pass by the quarterback. It's batted up in the air by the defensive player who catches it for an interception and begins to return the ball towards his opponent's end zone. But as you notice on this play, we're going to focus on where the runner is down. And you can see right here is where it looks like his knee is touching the ground and the ball's in his right hand, which looks like it's right over top of the 40-yard line. And you can see the referee right in position, goes back to the spot, indicating that the runner is down at the 40-yard line. This is a good job by the referee of getting the correct spot, because in this particular play, if you look at it, you could see where someone could give them, this runner, an extra 2, 3, maybe even 4 yards if they're not paying attention to where that knee goes down and where that ball is at the same time. And I think this is a great spot here on this particular play. We get the correct spot. Our next play we're going to look at here is an illegal shift by the quarterback as the quarterback runs to the line of scrimmage and the ball snaps, never gets set for at least 1 second, and the umpire throws the flag. A couple of notes here. First of all, in this particular play, we should have at least the flags of the wing officials along with the umpire, and we couldn't even have the referee, but we should have more than one flag on this play. But as we look at the quarterback set up here, and he's in the shotgun formation, and then you will see him rush to the line of scrimmage. And basically the design of this is obviously to catch the defense off, but he never gets set. I mean, the surge is forward, he comes right up, and it's definitely less than a second guaranteed before they snap the ball and he goes forward. So this is definitely an illegal shift, because Rule 7.2, Article 6 says after a huddle shift, all players of A she'll come to an absolute stop, and she'll remain stationary simultaneously without movement of hands, feet, or body for at least 1 second before the snap. So we definitely want to keep an eye out for this. Thank you for taking the time to watch our Week 11 video review. Along with thank you if you have watched the previous 10 weeks of videos and joined us for those for this season. I hope these educational videos have been helpful to you to improve your skills and knowledge of the rules, and have helped to improve each individual crew each week. Please feel free to provide any feedback or suggestions, or provide any plays or video of plays that you think will be helpful to help the association. Also, I will be looking at doing some off-season videos on specific topics for the 2023 football season. Also, if you are a new or less experienced official and have a specific topic that you feel would be helpful to you as a new or less experienced official, please feel free to contact me, reach out to me, and provide me with that information also. I hope that everyone has had a good regular football season. And for those of you who receive a playoff assignment or a future playoff assignment, congratulations. I have enjoyed this season doing these football video reviews for you. And until the next time, take care.